bet that if you've ever played The Sims 4, you've been so excited after a long day just to rush home, hop into bed, hit that little plumb bob on your computer screen and load up the game just to stare at it for hours and not know what to do with yourself. And that all changes today thanks to these save files. We all know that the Sims community is a blessing. They literally carry the game on their back sometimes, whether it's custom content creators, whether it's builders, creator simmers, and one of those community members that we absolutely could not live without are save file creators. So today we're going to be running through some of the most loved save files for The Sims 4 that can hopefully inspire you to tell more stories within this game. This is probably the save file that you're not going to be able to run away from. This is the Beyond Bloom save file by Aneleya. Now this has actually been updated all the way through to businesses and hobbies, so Nordhaven is the last official update, and I think Aneleya has actually said that they won't be updating it any further, but Aneleya has actually got together with a bunch of builders and asked them if they can use their already built lot. So every single world up until Nordhaven, even including the vacation worlds, have new builds in them. There are also plenty of new families. Do keep in mind that this save file in particular is not pack restricted, so it isn't base game compatible in the sense that even the base game houses or families could definitely use a lot of stuff from a lot of other packs. Also, just as a quick little heads up, in case you're playing with Strangerville, the Strangerville mystery has actually been solved in the save file, but you can always, once again, reawaken the mother plant if you want to play through that story with maybe one of the new Sims that has been introduced in Strangerville. Real quickly, to download these save files, all you need to do is hit the download button. It could be a Sim file share file, it could be a media share file, wherever the creator is actually hosting their downloads. Obviously, once you download it, it will pop up in your downloads folder, and then you can take these save files. Every Sim save file has 8 numbers in it. Now, you might actually have a save file already in your game that has the exact same name as the one that you've just downloaded. If that is the case, if it comes up with a warning of would you like to replace this, just say no, and then you can just rename it. Just make sure that you keep the 8 digits within the save file name, and then you can either right click, you can copy and paste it into your Electronic Arts, the Sims 4 folder, and then your saves folder. This is the same folder where you will actually click and drag all of your mods, but of course you put those into mods, whereas this one you're going to place them into your saves instead. Then once you've actually transferred them, you can just load up the game. You might have to scroll through your saves a little bit. They might be slightly backdated further along than your more recent saves, so just make sure you're browsing this list quite thoroughly. If you've done it correctly, they will pop up somewhere, and here we have the Beyond Bloom version 3. Because Nordhaven was the most recently updated in this save file, it does actually take you straight into Nordhaven. So I guess we'll check some of these new Sims out quickly. Here we have Sheena Myers. Sheena moved to Nordhaven after hearing stories of a town where people live off their craft, where passions turn into purpose. Still figuring out what truly excites her, but she's ready to explore, try new things, and find her own way through the gentle ambition and curiosity. Wait, because why have I recently got into knitting? I don't have my little practice square with me right now, but it is so neat. Anytime I do a row, I keep turning to show my girlfriend and I'm like, is my tension still okay? And apparently I'm really good with the tension. And the arts and crafts holiday is currently going on, so I guess real quickly we will show the calendar. We have Day of the Dead over here, remembrance and attend a holiday ceremony. Winter welcome, baking, decorating, festive lighting. Winter break for this weekend, so you can go on vacation or travel and share the festive spirit. There's a Winterfest Eve, decorate, festive spirit, baking, festive lighting, tell stories, and of course, then that leads into the traditional Winterfest. Spring cleaning. Cleaning and appreciate an object. Earth Day, baking, gardening, give flowers, tell stories. I always forget that like a spring festival, like an Easter, doesn't actually exist in seasons, like by default. She wants to become an esteemed entrepreneur, and the reason why I was actually talking about knitting was because maybe I can actually see her potentially getting into knitting, but she is also into writing and research and debate, so maybe a little local historian, maybe someone who writes like history books about Nordhaven. But this is her cutie little apartment. I love this like log burner that you have over here. I love the amount of clutter as well. I'm a really big fan of builds when they have like enough clutter, but it's also realistic. It's still completely usable and your sim can still like make things and they can root quite naturally. This has like the perfect amount. And there's also room for 2 more neighbors in here. So there are empty lots for you to move your own families into as well. It has to be said, I think base game worlds are some of my favorite to check out when it actually comes to save files. Just because we know the base game household so well. The base game is free. Literally anyone can play it as long as you have a PC or a console. And I think it's always interesting to see what someone has done with the townies that you know so well. But alongside that, you also have some of the new households and also just new additions. Look at how big the Pancakes household is here. After nearly losing their way, the Pancakes family found new purpose. Bob discovered a love for cooking whilst Eliza embraced art and painting. So Anaya has actually given Eliza like a purpose rather than just being neat, which I feel was her original character and why she disliked living with Bob so much. Their passions reignited not only their individual ambitions but also their love for each other. With renewed enthusiasm, they welcomed 2 children into their loving home, creating a life filled with creativity, love, and shared dreams. Have to say, a lot different from how I envision the Pancakes, but very, very happy for them. I really wanted to check out this household. After her now ex-husband's betrayal, cherished Levette was devastated, but for the sake of their 3 daughters, she stayed strong. Despite her pain, she created a loving and cheerful home, giving her girls a fresh start and shielding them from the heartache as best that she could. They are all wearing pink, and it's making me think, is the house also completely pink? Because if it is, what a diva. She really said, get that ex-husband out of here, that cheating lying snake, and I'm gonna shed my skin to actually become Barbie. Oh, it currently has all of these decorations on it. Oh, one of the kids is also playing in the back garden. We got some begonias waiting to be planted. It feels like she's kind of teaching the kids about gardening. A very, very cute home. I guess this means that we can also check out some of the other homes in this neighborhood. This is basically Bargain Bend. So this is like the starter neighborhood. This one definitely looks like a little starter home. It's more on the smaller side, definitely giving American suburbs. Or honestly, it's kind of not this house, but like this house is a little bit UK-ish. They kind of look like UK bungalows. Yes, it is all pink. Again, the perfect amount of clutter in all of this. Oh my god. She wants to become a super parent. She actually works in customer support. She's a retail employee, which I actually quite like that because I imagine on a part-time job, the money isn't probably great. She gets 48 simoleons an hour, which is more realistic than any retail job I or my friends have ever worked. But running this house, given they do have quite a bit saved up, she's family oriented, ambitious, and generous. This sim is cheerful, then creative. Then we have a clingy toddler. Hates bedtime, but then awfully rolled into hating wake up time as well. Maybe if you didn't hate bedtime so much, wake up time wouldn't be that difficult for you. Julie, another one that in 2026 you kind of can't run from. You're always going to see simmers talking about about this, and it is the doo-doo save file by Cool Puppy 12 over on Tumblr. Still very much a work in progress. I don't know if this is continuing to be a work in progress. I feel like recently a lot of simmers have started to step away. Obviously, a save file is a very, very big commitment, which you will know if you've ever tried to take on one yourself. But there are 16 worlds that are redone up until Tomarang. However, that doesn't include some packs that Cool Puppy doesn't own and probably never will, such as High School Years, Valid, Werewolves, a little bit hurt by that one, Love Struck, Valid, and My Wedding Stories, the most valid of all choices, also missing most of the kits. But what I found was one of the most interesting things about this save file is that Cool Puppy has kind of grouped together the worlds, which is something that I feel like I do when I'm playing the game. I kind of think about worlds that are similar to each other, that I can kind of imagine being in the same like geographic location. Oasis Springs, Del Sol Valley, and Strangeville, Newcrest, Willow Creek, and Magnolia Promenade, Windenburg, Forgotten Hollow, Glimmerbrook, and Henford, which I don't know if I would ever put those together, but that is fun. San Myshuno and Brindleton Bay, which personally I've never put together, but that actually makes so much sense. Not this loading in to what I think is one of the coolest community areas I've ever seen. We've got the Sunset Strip Gym, the Landgrab Hotel, stop it, owned of course by the one and only Landgrabs, the Flamingo, which is a nightclub, Bowlerama. I want to check out this restaurant. This build looks wild. It's giving Roaring Heights from The Sims 3, and that is never a bad thing. Whoa, just look at these builds. This is absolutely incredible. See, this is why I don't even try building, because I just know I would never do something as beautiful as this. Oh wow, and it's all this like marble pattern work. This is so bougie. This is absolutely giving Nancy Landgrab. She got her grimy little paws all over this place. I also imagine Judith Ward absolutely loves it. It's also got kind of a hotel vibe to it as well. There are little rooms for you to go spend your time in, maybe after having a romantic meal. We have the Grunt household. Oh my god, from The Sims 2. They were one of my favorites. Despite his laid-back manner, Rip somehow ended up outranking his older brother, but Tank is determined to crush him and prove to his father once and for all he has what it takes to be the greatest grunt the military has ever seen. Pink's not just a color, it's a way of life. Little Miss Guadalupe, proclaimed by her fans as the Pink Princess, has everything needed to be a star, and with her dadager by her side, it's not a question of if but when. An icon in the making. You know what? I said Judith Ward owns a key to this place. I think it's the Pink Princess. The builds are kind of enough for this to feel like, oh my gosh, this is brand new. I am brand new to this game. I have just been birthed, my eyes have just opened, and I'm gonna cry from how overwhelmed I am of how beautiful this is. Look at how lived in this is. It's a karaoke bar, but then it's built as if it's multiple buildings. So if we go down a couple of layers, there's all different kind of like businesses in here. You kind of have a laundromat, the cash machine. No, stop. The fact that that looks stolen is so funny. And then this is the karaoke bar over here in the back. Just kind of a maze of businesses. Oh, there's also private rooms to the karaoke bar. So there is actually a second floor. You've got a mini gym up here. And then some of these are just kind of empty as shells. The level of detail is astounding. Ooh, some new celebrities to play with as well. We got the Silver Spoons. Despite her wealthy background, Alyssa is desperate to become a global lifestyle influencer based on her own merit. Amber, her fellow Nepo baby. Is that Amber of Sims 4 trailer fame? Could care less what people think of her. Maybe that's why her parents kicked her from her penthouse. Will Amber ever come off her high horse? And will Alyssa finally be known as someone none other than that celebrity's kid. And then also the D-listers, which is where Vanessa is chilling. Only the brave, the bold, and the foolish come to Del Sol Valley chasing stardom. Do these two have what it takes to make it in this city, or are they headed down a boulevard of broken dreams? Also living with a brand new sim called Joshua West, the Star Labs Selfie Museum. I'm done. I need to leave. These builds are reminding me of The Sims 3, like Fusion Factory, then you've got West Point Nightclub. Now I know that honeymaysims actually has a full video talking about their save files, so if the creators do have videos or anything like that uploaded on their YouTube channels, I'm gonna leave them in the link in the description down below so that you can go check all of that out, because obviously this is kind of an overview, but these creators will go into way more depth in their own save files. Includes new homes, new community lots, townie makeovers, new households and sims, extended lore and relationships, new holidays, clubs, and more. Uses all expansion packs, game packs, and stuff packs, but no kits whatsoever included in this one, and also no journey to Batu. Some of these do look different from the official like promotional content that creators make alongside their save files. That's just because sometimes map overrides are used. Obviously, we also have things such as G-Shade and reshaders that make the game pop a lot more, whereas I took out my reshade ages ago, and I kind of just like showing off the game the way that it is, kind of more vanilla-esque, even though I obviously have like CC. But this is where you can start to see like the mix and match of packs, because this is Willow Creek, but then we also have a vet clinic over here. Save files that use different packs, hopefully the packs that you have, does make the game kind of feel more well-rounded and overall just a more usable state. Like, we also even have some university housing over here. A small business venue, which is owned by the Spencer Kim Lewis household, who are looking a little different. They had a little glow up. In this save file, there is just one thing to note. It is mainly the base game worlds that have had a real, like, full facelift, but that's not to say the other worlds haven't been worked on it here and there. For example, there's also a cemetery over here in Henford on Bagley, but the Sims haven't really been made over. Newcrest is always really fun to see like the baseline of a save file, because it is an empty world and save file creators go all out. So we have basically a strip over here. This is Optimist Outlook. You actually have 4 out of 5 families living here. One thing I will say with every single one of these save files that does have residential rental units, be careful with the bug that we know that exists when residential rentals are used and there's kind of more people and more items in your world. Make sure that you are backing things up, and honestly maybe disable for rent if you don't fancy playing with it. I wouldn't want you putting all of your love and effort and energy into one of these save files and then it turns out it just eats itself. Oh, we have a daycare museum. Eureka, one of my favorite places in the UK. I was about to be offended because I couldn't see the pancakes anywhere. For one, I absolutely love it when save file creators give us bigger families, because I feel like that doesn't happen very often in The Sims 4. It's like usually 2 to 4 Sims max when it comes to households. Obviously the Spencer Kim Lewis, again, only 5 Sims. They're kind of like one of the biggest families that you remember off the top of your head, and they're still only 5 Sims, whereas this is almost a full household. You have 7 Sims and a dog. Civic planner Samuel and stay-at-home mum Maria have built a lively, love-filled home together with 2 biological children, 3 adopted kids, and 1 energetic dog. Every day is a whirlwind of joyful chaos, but as the household grows and expenses pile up, Maria is starting to wonder, should she return to work to help make ends meet? However, if we go to manage households and we scroll all the way down here, here, you might not have seen the pancakes, and that is because they have actually split. This is more like it. I like to feel as if the pancakes both have a gay awakening, and that is why they never really see eye to eye in their marriage or in their relationship, and why everything just feels rather tense between them. And clearly, honeymaysims was feeling the same type of way, because we have Bob Pancakes residing in Oasis Springs. After his divorce from Eliza, Bob moved to Oasis Springs to begin a fresh chapter as an aspiring actor, but will love find its way back to his story. They set you up a little serve there. I don't know, maybe 7 on over to Johnny Zest, also someone who resides in Oasis Springs, but that's for you to decide. I actually was like, is this Eliza? We have Christine Sloan, chapter since her divorce, juggling a new job to make ends meet whilst co-parenting 2 kids who split their time between households. She actually currently only has 1 child. That, I think, would break my heart as a child. Like, imagine if you were a sibling and your parents were like, oh yeah, we're actually gonna have one of you 1 week and then the other one the other week. You just wouldn't really feel like you were living a childhood together. However, we need to focus on Eliza. Clifford Hastings' household. Eliza has moved on from her divorce with Bob Pancakes and discovered her true calling as a freelance writer. But that's not all. Of course it isn't. Eliza did have her gay awakening. Veterinarian Jenny has entered her life, bringing along 2 lovable dogs, Gizmo and Sasha. The couple recently got engaged and the nursery is already fully decorated, but are they ready to take the next step and start a family? Honestly, exactly like a home that I could imagine Eliza Pancakes in. It still feels very clinical, and I do feel as if Eliza Pancakes is quite a clinical sim. Even though it's like homey and lived in, still feels like, you know, she's very neat, she's very organized, she doesn't like things being out of place. And she likes to keep things very calm. She's not a chaotic woman in the slightest. Oh my god, they are literally ready for a newborn. There's like, oh, this is a dog bed actually. I was like, there's a play mat, there's a little bed for it, and I'm like, actually, rewire the brain. That's for the dog? Ooh, this is Bob's house. Okay, he's got a pool. He's definitely looking like a little bachelor. Did you see him in his little shades? Bob said, I'm gonna get a divorce and then I'm gonna work on my revenge lifestyle. Oh, this is kind of sad because it makes me think that he may potentially have been from like Oasis Springs originally, and then he moved for Eliza, and then it just didn't work out. Yes, he got the fun house in the divorce. Bob Pancake supremacy. Also, okay, eco-conscious king. Whoa, that's sick, with the pool float being like stacked against the wall. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that. That's done using tool mod. It's a pretty small pool, but you know, he's a single man. That's all he really needs right now. Of course, he has a feckin' juiced fizzing keg. This is such a single bachelor pad. He's got like his bedroom over here with a single bed. Literally looks like he's going from a university dorm, a mini fridge, his workout equipment, and his kind of office. Oh wait, that's like a guest bedroom. Okay, Bob, I'm so sorry. I did severely misjudge. This is actually his bedroom, which is still a little messy, you know. His personality hasn't really changed too much. He's still a slob, he's loyal, and a party animal. And he still loves the color yellow. He's still got his butter yellow kitchen, just with like slight little accents though, not as full on as it was. And he's also got his butter yellow chairs over here and a little laundry room. You know what? I feel like Bob has his ish together. God, just the realism of like the air conditioner being out here. Things you love to see. Next we have rosannatxt save file. Again, Rosanna has made a full video about this, so if you want to go check out that save file in more depth. But I know that this is about to be one of the most well thought out and planned save files that I may have ever played, just because I know Rosanna and I know how detail oriented Rosanna is. Just as a heads up for Rosanna's save file, when I actually loaded up my game, it said UK's correct, even in the title. I did obviously change that to Rosanna just so that I knew, but just as a heads up, if you're looking for it actually within your load game menu. Ooh, we're celebrating Love Day in the game right now. We have Hinata, who genuinely looks like one of the most stunning Sims I think I have ever seen in my life. She is so cute. I hate how the aspiration isn't the top one. I also hate that you can't just like pin these and change these around yourself. Wants to be a Mount Komorebi sightseer, is an expert in her career, level 8 in the salary person career. Okay with the herbalism level 6. I feel like that's something that people never really focus on. Way in a relationship with Isamu. Boy squad, boys only club. It seems childish, but when you look at it, there are only kids in this group. Looking to meet some good buddies, feel free to join. Children of the island, living on a tropical island may sound like a dream, but it's weird growing up like no one else. The city kids, that's fun. Cross-uni program, it's fun to have rival schools in one city, but most cases it's quite challenging. Dungeons and llamas. Some might call us nerds, we prefer storytellers, creating our own world, controlling the characters, and coming up with storylines. I mean, I wish that they could actually play like D&D in The Sims. It's teens only, and you have Yuki, Maya, Emily, Cassandra, and Quincy. Lads. Having kids and a wife is fun, but sometimes you need to get pissed with the lads in the pub. Stop it. Power mums. Raising multiple kids and a husband is hard work. Not them just creating clubs where all of these people hate their significant others. Oh, nice. I like this. There's also random townies. So the people that you'll see like walking around, they're actually just like also made Sims. Obviously there's not like loads of them, but that is nice. If you are the type of Sims player who likes to romance different people and you like to just spot someone walking around, Fatima has been able to pursue her academic passion and become a professor in biology since her younger sister Hajar moved out to join her friends from uni. Fatima has been a little lonely. That's why she got Lil Jabbar, but she would actually really like to share her life with a partner as well. Will she find true love? Callahan, or Callie as his friends call him, has dreams of moving to Sulani to live on a sunnier beach, but for now Brindleton Bay is his home. If he saves enough money he might just make it, but maybe he'll meet someone who will convince him to stay in the meantime. Loads of new townies. Not Lestat. That's so funny. The master vampire. They really said, Vladdy Daddy, you had your time and your time has now expired. I actually love like the diversity in these townies. That is something that feels like it is lacking sometimes. Obviously I know that we have like a lot of queer representation in the EA townie households, but even Sims wearing hijabs, I feel like we haven't really seen that cultural representation really since Sanmai Shuno, and that was very, very early in the Sims life cycle. This just feels like one of those save files where you could like click on any family, any household, and there'd kind of be a story to tell. That's what a save file should be. It should inspire you to play the game, and I think discovering all of these stories would be so fun. Also, again, just from looking at the builds, it looks very, very playable. Like, there's enough space around everything to be able to play all of these functionally. Even in apartments. Whoa, 7 Sims living in this apartment? The Sims are all so cute. They did such a good job with all of them. But real quickly, I just want to see how they're all living living in here. Not the desperately wanting a cat, so having a cat tower and then not owning a cat. They are split into like separate bathrooms, so they're not gonna embarrass each other, which is quite nice. You got this more like artsy room. Some of them are just like smaller rooms, but yeah, I like how it feels like they've just taken all of their uni furniture. Like this feels like adults who are really, oh, are they actually uni students, like all currently? They are. Whoa, that's a lot. Having 7 Sims who are all in university, good luck playing this household. You're gonna need it. Honey, you got a big storm a-coming. Look how chaotic this is. Eliza Pancakes from the last save file would lose her rag here. And finally, what may be the most creative and most unique save file I think I've ever seen for The Sims 4. This is by the Sims curator, and it's called the Career World save file, which sounds really, really odd just based off the title, but this is a pack-integrated, detail-oriented save file meant to maximize gameplay potential of The Sims 4. Does this primarily by creating realistic, vibrant community spaces for your Sims to play out their career ambitions. So basically, each world in this save file is kind of focused on a career or a set of careers and has community spaces dedicated towards those careers, townies that are in like similar careers as what your Sims may be in, or that you just want to explore through those pre-made households. Good looking residents created by talented creators on the gallery, more interactive stuff in the open portions of the world. So for example, wherever there are child's play equipment, there is actually toddler stuff now, which I mean, I doubt that kind of encourages Sims with toddlers to even leave the house with their toddlers, because The Sims 4 doesn't really do that, and it's all a very individual experience, which in my eyes is one of the biggest downfalls of The Sims 4, but nice to know that, hey, at least if you bring your toddlers out, there's now actually things for them to do. At least one pre-made sim in every career, at least one pre-made pursuing every aspiration, and at least one owned version of every type of ownable business. Retail, restaurant, vet, residential rental, so you can hop in and play any ambition you want without doing a ton of setup. I can see why their name is The Sims Curator, because this is the most curated save file ever. The fact that they've thought about all of this and so many jumping off points so that you can just hop into this save file, choose a family that you're interested in, you don't need to do any of the setup, and it's just like, okay, let's go. Also, there's local flavor, different worlds are set up and have their own advantages, drawbacks, laws, cultures, NAPs that make sense and feature career opportunities. Wild. What do you mean? I think this is the one that I personally would be most excited to explore, because I am such like a storyteller and I've always loved diving in deep to townies, especially in The Sims 4. So kind of just having that information to dive off and like having an idea in mind of what that sim wants to do with their life. You have the wedding industry empire. Princess Cordelia didn't believe in just being an idle royal, and neither does her descendant Arnessa. A lifelong florist and sometime officiant, Arnessa almost single-handedly built the local wedding industry by hyping up Tartosa as a romantic destination to sell more flowers. Now her son Hector has gotten into wedding photography, and to Arnessa's delight, married the daughter of a local catering dynasty, Hillary, who now makes wedding cakes. Will their kids pitch in too? Now that's actually an idea that I've had for Hillary. She is a wedding cake designer, like a bougie wedding cake designer. This is the pianist and instrument maker. Lucia may have already taken the last name Markovich in anticipation of their eventual wedding, but her maiden name Stringavarius. That's literally the people who make violins in the game. Illustrious line of instrument makers from which she comes. That's so sick. Are you kidding me? Retired mob boss and kids. Not Shaq. So, townies that we do know and potentially love, or in my case, hate for Jacques Villarreal have also been moved around. So they've moved out of Windenburg and to Tartosa. Retired mobster Jacques bought this nectary so he could enjoy sea views while sipping his favorite drinks from a private cellar. But his children have bigger ambitions for the place. Hugo, an aspiring chef, wants to revive the machinery and create the perfect nectars to pair with his Italian dishes. Luna, a simfluencer, envisions marketing Hugo's nectars as the toasting nectar of the wedding industry and maybe renting out the nectary itself as a venue. Max just wants to find the pirate's gold. Whoa, this house is wild. I mean, I wish I could see it in the daytime. So real quickly, we're gonna hop into, oh, it's like so disgustingly cloudy out here in Tartosa. Ooh, really nice outdoor seating area. Oh my god, this is so fancy. It kind of has an essence of Salvadorada about it. Very, very colorful kitchen, downstairs bathroom. Then we kind of have like the living room. Look at that TV. That is massive. This feels like it's Jacques, of course, with the money on the put the money in the bag and I stole the keys. Luna's, who is a little simfluencer with a little walk-in wardrobe dressing area. This is a maze and a half. Is this behind the bookshelf door? Is that what we're getting at? I swear I saw a bookshelf door. Oh no, it's literally just outside, but this just looks like a regular like wine cellar. Like there's a bar down here, the safe inside, 140,000 simoleons access for Jacques. I mean, Max wants to find the treasure. His dad's actually just hoarding it. Then you've got this area which is like fizzing and nectar making, and then through this back alley you got more wines over here. Is there a way to even like get in here? Not the tomb. I don't think there is a way. Oh, these are apparently bookshelves, but they're hidden by the wine. That's such a cool little detail. And then this is all of the treasure. Do you reckon Jacques knows that this is here? Or do you reckon he doesn't even know about it? Max wants to get into that. That's so funny. Can you actually sell these? 4,800 simoleons. That's wild. Are you kidding me? Imagine if Max actually does find that in his lifetime. You could create a whole legacy around this house. Inspiring. I love it. Marcel works on his latest humor novel and rubs elbows with San Myshuno's many comedians. Okay, so there's a lot of comedians. We have a lawyer. This is actually a new household. No, this is Rebecca Clark. She was from university. Hasn't really been happy since she went by Becca back in college. She became a lawyer for the paycheck, but she's always felt more at home in sweatpants than a pencil skirt. Smogue HQ, so it's like Vogue. A runway build over in this room. Then you've got like all of these outfits. It's kind of like a gallery going on, and then someone to entertain and sing. The very, very fancy toilets. The actual like crafting, like design section, so sick. Look at the statues that they've even used in the front. This feels so realistic. And then the like outdoor bar, wanting to revitalize the town, starting with the 2 units they've combined in an old motel extension. Landscape painter Mark has mostly taken the project in hand, whilst his partners interface the community. Latin guitarist Alice, drawing on her own Salvadoradian roots, plays at the old hacienda every evening, and sci-fi writer Leslie, oh, I've never really seen that for Leslie, but I like it. I was right about this save file having a lot of items. Absolutely incredible, and honestly still working quite well for the amount of items I feel like we have on the lots in my personal game. Might not be the same for you though, so I did just want to give that hands up. But also I think with the save file eating glitch and that also being encouraged by the amount of items that you can have it in your world, I would say tread with caution and maybe overcluttered for some of you, but definitely still playable. I know I've mentioned that a lot, but I think that is super important when you're looking at save files. Like, you want stuff to look lived in, but you also want to be able to have your Sims Sims roam around and actually not get caught on things. I hope you found some inspiration. I hope you all found something to tickle your fancy and inspire you in your next great gameplay storytelling in these save files. I mean, I do feel like it would be difficult not to find something that you are interested in these save files. There was such like a range of them, and also all of these had like their own strengths to them, really depending on your playstyle, what you actually like to achieve within your game, whether that's more like familial gameplay, whether it's still creating your own families and having starter homes and then also building that up around like new townies, for example. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and also a massive thanks to all of the creators. Everyone who I've mentioned in today's video absolutely smashed it, and I can tell you that these save files will be staying in my game, and I'm really excited to actually start playing in some of these. I would love to know what your favorites were from this video, or maybe other save files that I haven't discussed in this video. I have made 2 similar videos like this, so if you do leave one down below, or you're like, oh, I wonder why you didn't talk about this, I may have previously mentioned them in my other 2 save file videos, which I will actually leave linked so you can go check both of those out. Or if there are just any others that maybe weren't included in any of my videos that you would like me to know about, definitely leave them down below. You know I love a usable, functional, new families and also like new lore that I can explore. I know I didn't go into like all of the clubs as much as I usually do, but hey, that just means I have more to explore when I actually dive in deep to all of these in my own gameplay, and that is never a bad thing. But thank you all so much for being here, and I will speak to you all in my next one. Bye now.